also want you to see why I think Cognizant is the place to be right now for someone who's been in AI. I have a PhD in AI. I was the main inventor of the natural language behind Siri, which is now years ago and not as good as it used to be. I started the world's first AI-based hedge fund. But I'm here. I'm at Cognizant because I think the opportunity is here. The opportunity to agentify the enterprise is right here and right now. So let's dive right into it. Let me first talk about the investment that we're making into innovation. And so there's a process, there's a pipeline of our AI PhDs coming up with and pushing the envelope on the latest and greatest in AI, and that making it into our various different platforms. And there is a method to this madness. I'm sure you've seen this through my colleagues' presentations up until now. There's an ecosystem to be built, and it's wide and it's deep. And our platforms are hitting every aspect of that. And the platforms, the innovations are manifesting themselves through these platforms. And I'll talk and I'll demo some of those in a moment. And of course, we have a number of AI studios around the world where we showcase these. Sorry, I have to unlock my laptop here. And it's asking for a password. Sorry, just went. And we work with institutions and academia. We have a number of patents. Again, these are 57 patents right now, peer-reviewed papers. Just speak to the fact that a company like Cognizant is valuing innovation very, very deeply, and it's helping us. But before I show you some live demos here, and Surya put me up to actually building an agent for Amy, I'm going to do that. Let me level set on what we're talking about here. What is an agent, after all? Is it just the latest reincarnation of AI, or LLMs, or Gen AI, or is it what's real about it? So going from left to right, this is a Gen AI model. It's a model. What that means is it takes some inputs, and through some process of predicting what we might want to see, it produces some outputs. So that's a model. It doesn't do things. It just produces things. It generates things. That's why it's Gen AI. If we go ahead and enable this model with some tools, then it becomes an agent. That moment of switching from a model to an agent means we're imbuing this process with engineering. We've moved to an engineering discipline. We have to decide what is the responsibilities of this agent. What are the tools that we're going to give it? Where is it sitting? What kind of microservices is it representing? What kind of data is it representing? It's engineering. It's customization. And then, of course, if you have one agent responsible for a portion of what you're doing in your enterprise, you will have other agents as well responsible for other portions of what is happening. And you want these agents to work together. And that's a multi-agentic system. And what I want to show you is the fact that we're moving towards a multi-agentic enterprise. We are going to be building these agent systems as networks with clients building some of those agents. We'll help them build some of these agents custom for their specific use cases. They will be provisioning some of these agents and customizing them from third parties, say Agentforce or AgentSpace, or everybody's got their agents now, and plugging them interoperably into this multi-agentic system. Let me just give you one quick example of why this system is progressively more powerful. You can ask a Gen AI model to write you some code, and it will do it. And you will get a relatively impressive percentage of a coding benchmark solved just right off the bat. Just take the code that it produces and run it, and it solves that problem. That's what a model does. If you actually give an agent the proper tools, for example, to run that code in a container and allow the large language model behind the agent to view the result of running that code, it can iterate on the code and improve it. And without fail, our coding benchmark is improved just by simply doing that, just allowing the LLM to run the code in a safe container, viewing the results and improving it. We get better results, more of that benchmark solved. Here, we're moving from writing code to building software. It's a team that's coming together. I actually have that example here. It's a project manager working with a QA specialist, some agent that assesses unit test coverage and adds unit tests. It's a team that's building a software. That's what we're looking at. And of course, that third multi-agent system, if set up properly, is beating all of our coding benchmarks. Okay, so Gartner believes the future is in multi-agency. Not only do we believe that, we've seen it. And not only have we seen it with our clients, we've seen it with ourselves. We're a very large company. Our HR department has its own IT. Every unit within our company, being an innovation-driven, AI-driven company, AI-first company, is building these agents. And these agents are begging to be connected to one another. It just doesn't make sense for you to go to one agent and ask it a query and for it to say, well, it's out of scope for me. Go see if there's another agent that can do it for you. You want these agents to be talking to each other. And when you do that, you're breaking the silos. And when you break the silos, you're reducing cost, you're improving efficiencies. Okay, so enough slides, and let's actually build a system here. If we could go to my laptop, there we go. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're doing this internally. This is our intranet, and it's a collection of various different, very useful apps that come together. And we've incrementally started agentifying this. And we can actually use various different entry points to talk to this system. And by virtue of talking to it, the agents representing the various different apps that are useful to an employee will be talking to each other. I encourage you to come over and actually see this, and we will give you a full demo of this and how it works. But what I want to do is show you the behind the scenes of this and the actual agents. Let's go to our NeuroAI platform. This is the platform that we use to build individual agents, actually identify and scope them, and I'll do that right now, and then put them together into a multi-agent system. But before I actually build an agent, let me show you the intranet agent, the One Cognizant intranet, and it's asking me to log in. Okay, we didn't practice this part. Sorry about that. As you can see, security is very important to us here at Cognizant. And once this loads, I will be able to show you. There we go. So here is one of our multi-agentic systems. It's rather small, so I'm going to just blow it up just a little bit. And I mentioned our intranet. So you can see here these agents representing the various different functions within our intranet. It starts to look like our org chart. It starts to look like functions that, as employees within Cognizant, we are taking. And of course, it's human in the loop. Of course, it's augmented. But it's growing incrementally and organically. And that's how we set it up for our clients. We allow our clients to, various different divisions with our clients, to build their agentic subnetworks and have a manner to test them and plug them into the larger agent network. So if I ask it a query such as a life change event, I just had a baby. What do I need to do? So I use this on purpose. I showed this to an analyst, and they're like, wow, life change event, you type that in, and the agents identify which down-chain agents are responsible for dealing with this, and you get one consolidated response. There's some benefit changes, and by the way, you can take some time off. Now that you have this baby, you might want to take some time off. And I can follow up with that and actually take some time off. And hopefully this gives you an indication of how the system is breaking the silos, and I'll show you some more of that. But let's just build one of these agents. These agents have to be grounded. And in order to build a grounded agent, we're going to go into a multi-agentic system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use agents to help me build an agent. So it's a bit meta. We're using agents to build agents. So I have a number of agents that are human-in-the-loop agents that we're going to interact with. And Amy's standing there, so we're gonna start off by just typing in KeyBank. Any particular division within KeyBank, or should I just keep it with KeyBank, Amy?
Why don't we do commercial lending?
Commercial lending. Okay. So what the system's going to do is it's going to, so this is obviously not implemented at KeyBank, so I don't have the data of KeyBank. It's going to do a search online for publicly available information on KeyBank, and it's coming up with a number of ideas as to what kind of agent we can use. So this is a collaborative process of identifying the use case. And it's picked one of them, and it's actually doing an ROI analysis on that using some guesswork and some public information. It's picked commercial mortgage finance decision making, but we could do any one of these. So Amy, are any one of these interesting for me to build for you, or should I do a different one? Up to you.
You choose.
I choose. Okay. Okay.
I'm the banker today.
How about we do SBA loan eligibility, and would that? Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
All right. So now I'm moving to the scoping agent. What the scoping agent is going to do is it's going to think about what is the data that's going to be necessary. Remember, we're building an agent that's grounded into KeyBank information and data, or third-party data that we might have to bring in. For example, we might have to use Cognizant Ignition to provision that. And it's come up with a rather detailed scoping of that. It's saying I'm going to help with these types of decisions. Amy's nodding her head, so I think I'm on the right track here. And it's giving us these outcome objectives. You can think of them as KPI. So are these in line with what you would expect in this? Okay, great, wonderful. So we typically do, when I was out there at KeyBank and working with Amy and her team, we spent a lot of time here going back and forth as they threw like, oh, but this is different here or that. It's perfectly fine to talk to any of these agents in any order as you're actually building the system. Okay, now that we have this, we're going to move to generating some data. Let's just generate 1,000 rows of data. Why am I doing this? Because I don't have access to Amy's data right now, but I want to get her the POC running on synthetic data so I can show her and she can play around with it right now, and we can modify the scoping and the design if we need to. So we're having this agent actually write some code that would generate some data synthetically that would resemble the data that we need. And we could use it as a template as we go in as Cognizant and actually provision the real data and bring it in for use here. And finally, when it's done writing the code, we're going to have some agents build it. And that's the last step I'm going to go through here. I will very much encourage you to come over behind. These walls are going to go away, and there will be some demo pods over there. And we're gonna build these types of agents for you guys. Just walk up, and we'll build one for you on the fly spontaneously right there. Just to complete this, I'm going to have it create the use case and make it explainable. And I'm going to ask the orchestrator to do that. And we'll let that go on. I can show you this fully developed in a moment, but before I do that, let's just take you here and show you what is actually running, which is this Opportunity Finder set of agents. So we're at a step where a number of agents, this is my team, are coming together and designing that agent for Amy autonomously, because we gave it all the information, all the data that it needed, including running that code in a container, moving the data, the synthetic data, onto the cloud, and running against that. But we have a number of other agent networks here. The agent that we're going to end up building for Amy is going to plug into a multi-agentic system similar to the one that you're seeing here. And we're going to be able to, and this is a rather large one that we're gonna use, and it's, again, breaking all the silos. So the consumer banking side, as well as the commercial banking, the wealth management, whatever that one is, they will all come together and help, especially if there's a complex command that's coming in. Okay, I think I'm running out of time. Let's go quickly back to the slides so that I can just wrap up. And that's not my slide. So yes, I hope by what you saw, you noticed, and with the speakers that went before me, that this agentification is something that is happening, it's inevitable, it's organic, it has requirements that need to be fulfilled. It's an ongoing process, it's incremental, unlike past moves, for example, to the cloud. That was a big lift and shift. You can do this incrementally and plug in new agents as you go. It requires interoperability. And there's a lot of engineering and custom making. And because, as Cognizant, we own that last mile, we have the IP, we've recognized early on that multi-agency is the future of the enterprise. We are very, very well positioned to build this future for all of our clients and ourselves. So with that, I'm going to invite you to a short little break, as well as hopefully some demos that we can give of our various different platforms. Thank you.